Welcome back. We've been joined in the program by Ambassador Adeshola Onadipe. She's the President, African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce, and the founder of Ladies in Business Magazine Global. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. It's my great pleasure to be here.
Okay. Some people have not heard about the organization.
Yes.
We're going to walk through that in just a moment. But one of the things we try to do in Women in Business is just try to speak to women to understand their workings, their challenges, how they are navigating this masculine world, patriarchal society in that sense. So maybe that's a good part to start that conversation with you.
Yes, yeah. I mean, thank you so much. It's my great pleasure to be here. And we women, we're actually trying so hard to make you men heard and realize that we are here to stay, though it's still been a struggle and a movement that like how we say it. And from what I undo, being a woman advocate when it comes to business, and from my introduction, I'm the publisher of Ladies in Business Magazine, where we literally share the success stories and the struggle stories of women in business globally, not just in Nigeria, in Africa, and the entire world, actually. So we use this platform to, to let them know that whatever they are doing, they can do well, and they can be more while they strive to do more. So with the magazine platform, it's been a wonderful one, and we started that like 6 years, and we extended it to a global level in the United Arab Emirates, and there where we, I started the African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce, because I realized that as an African woman, from Nigeria, now based in the United Arab Emirates, makes me to have that synergy to think that how can we have a platform to navigate and bridge the gap between the African women and the Arab women together for business, networking, collaboration, investment, and what have you. So that was the source of African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce, and thereby we've been using the opportunity to train women, to educate them, to bring, foster business together from both regions, and have, of course, investments and collaborations and networking at the end of the day.
So it sounds like a lot.
It is.
It is.
I don't know. Some say it's a man's world. Some say it's a woman's world. Whatever the case is, from your experience, and I'm curious to know, having told the stories of, I don't know, maybe hundreds of women or more, is there a common thread in their journey? Something that you've noticed that once you apply this thing, it's going to work for you in spite of the challenges. This thing, I've noticed that all these women seem to have it, and they've applied it, and it's worked for them across. But is that something like that?
Absolutely. Like I used to say, I don't see it as a competition where women need to really have to, have that torso power with the men, because we all have a specific area of jurisdiction of whatever we're supposed to deliver in business, in family, in church, or wherever we find ourselves. You understand? That is why we are both curated to to complete each other, not to compete with each other. So I'm gonna say that it will be a very decent strategy if women can literally, like I used to say, we use you men as allies where we need to make things happen. Sometimes it's not that easy. It can be very difficult. But if you're able to have proper strategy in place, knowing fully well that, like what I do in the magazine, we have a segment for men as well. I mean, we don't want to say that it's just a women's world.
Back page?
Exactly. Well, part page.
So please just give them some page.
Just part page, just to have an icing on the cake, yeah? So that it doesn't look like as if it's just the women's world. Of course, it's our world. But again, we just both can't do without each other. It's vis-a-vis. We all have our part to play. And once we're able to recognize your part to play, then the sky will be your limit.
So I want to find out from you, part of your experience in what I'll call curating women and their journey.
Yes.
And from your personal experience, what mistakes are women making in a quote-unquote man's world?
It's still the same thing I've just explained right now. We have to find a way where we get the men involved.
So I want specifics. What are the mistakes?
Okay, now, for example, I'm having an event coming up. It's the She Awards, right? So we are not just making it the women thing, because the men have their own part to play as well. So if women can find a strategic way to involve the men where they are needed to perform their own duty, it will be very good, because it's not looking like as if the man is being left out, like, okay, you want to rule your world, okay, go ahead and do that, but where is my place? Then what am I supposed to do? So it becomes a power tussle, and of course it's going to be like, okay, you can't do it without me, okay, go ahead and let's see how far you can manage to do it. For me, in my experience, a lot of men have really come to support me, both in Nigeria and also in the United Arab Emirates as well. So it wasn't a difficult thing for me, because I've been able to find that navigating, you know, up to really inculcate men into the platform, into the system of my operation of whatever I'm doing. So I didn't make it look like as if they are not recognized or their ego is being brushed off. You understand? At the same time, not worshiping them.
But you can't dismiss the challenges some women face that makes them combative in their posturing. That is a valid concern, isn't it?
It is huge. And sometimes I want to say it's more or less some personal sometimes. But again, in a general quote of it, we can say that women can find a way where they can, you know, use the men as allies, like I said, to, you know, to achieve whatever they need to achieve while doing their businesses. Yeah.
Fantastic. I was looking through the Forbes list, right, just to see how many women, top 20. Top 20, you have 2 women out of 20, which is commendable, right,
Absolutely.
Jeffrey? That's 10%.
Absolutely.
But you know, the affirmative action is...
We need more.
We need more. So you should have at least maybe 3, 4.
At least 10.
10?
Yes.
I like that. So it's 50-50 for you,
exactly,
right?
10.
No, oh, that's a new affirmative action. It's no more 35, it's not 50.
It should be 50-50.
I like that, because population, after all, is 50-50.
Absolutely.
It's split 50-50 between, roughly, between men and women. But my question, and the reason why I raised this, is the fact that some say if you want to be a successful woman, there are sacrifices you have to make in terms of family, relationship, and all of that. They always say, well, you choose one. You can't have best of both worlds. Do you agree with that? Can you have best of both worlds? Family doing great, your business doing great?
I used to say it's possible for a woman to achieve all, but not at the same time. Because you need to identify the time that you're raising your children and you have with the family, and maybe the children are now grown up because they're going to go afterwards. So you need to identify the time that is now meant for yourself to develop yourself, maybe to go for that, your MBA or your doctorate degree. So if you can find a way to balance it, to prioritize it at the same time, I mean, not at the same time, you understand? So at the end of the day, women can actually achieve it all, but not at the same time. It is not easy, but sometimes sacrifice has to be made, definitely, because you want to be married, to take care of the children. I mean, you are a boss in the bank, you know. I mean, all those things are not quite easy. I mean, it actually happens to me. I have to leave my banking job a couple of years back, like about 10 years ago, you know, to take care of my children because they were growing, right? But now, I mean, they're growing up. I mean, they're already growing up. My first daughter, she's 23. So I have the opportunity and the chance for me to do everything that I needed to do right now. So I think priority, you know, women should need to find a way to prioritize those things. They can still achieve everything, but not at the same time.
Quick follow-up.
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to catch up? And this is what I mean. So you leave your job, right? And you focus on family.
Yes.
So all that 10 years on your CV, you can't put 2010 to 2020, raising family, raising children, experience in changing diapers and all. I don't know if you can put it on your CV. So is it possible to catch up? After 10 years, how do you then catch up again and still do stuff, great stuff?
And again, that brought me to what I used to tell women, that you should be able to find something that is meant for you. It's not everybody that's going to be, you know, in the 4 walls of a business or in a company. Sometimes you should be able to divine, I mean, you know, to look for that thing that is meant for you to achieve, to do. Okay. For example, for me, I started, you know, with events business and the magazine.
When you left banking?
When I left banking.
So you were still doing something?
Exactly. You understand? But at the same time, I was able to still keep up with the family while doing that at the same time.
Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. So affirmative action is still a struggle. Now you have raised the bar to 50%. Good luck. We wish you the best. The issue of maternity leave is another issue that some companies have really stepped up. Some countries have even done up to 6 months, 1 year, and all of that. So if there are small things in the bucket list you will need the society to put out for women to leverage on to be the best they can be, what would they be?
Well, I will really say in politics, and thank God I think women are, you know, they are actually coming up in terms of politics. I mean, we have the women president first in Namibia, and the vice president, and even in Ghana, and some other African countries, and I think we are moving on. So I think in politics, because that's the highest most level that I think women are really, wanted, and we're not being represented, appropriately. So I think in politics is a big, platform for me, because that is where lots of policies and, decisions and law are being made. So if women are part of such, policies maker, I mean, it's really, make things easier. Yeah.
All right, Ambassador Adeshola Onadipe, President, African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce and founder of Ladies in Business Magazine Global. Thank you so much for coming to the program.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we will take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about healthy living. A doctor will be joining us right here in our Lagos studios. Join us again.